Hello everyone, Estela Casas here with Christina Brada. Welcome to all of our social media friends out there on KTSM.com, on Facebook, and on YouTube. We hope you enjoy this conversation with somebody that's new who just joined us on KTSM but is not new to the business. So Christina, thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you.
So you have been gone for about 11 years. Tell me what you've done in the past 11 years. Well, let's go farther back to when you were on TV 11 years prior.
So I started off in 2004 at KDBC, and I started off as a weekend reporter. So, you know, that's like the very last job. Nobody wants it, but I took it. I was so ready to be in news that I said, I will do it. I don't care how much you pay me. I will do it. And by the time that I left there, I had moved up to weekend anchor and then morning anchor. And then for some time I was doing the primetime shows. So it went by very, very quickly. I learned so much. It was just, that's kind of my, you know, where I grew up, where I learned.
So you talk about resilience and not giving up. You know, I remember that you just have to get your foot in the door, right? But once you get your foot in the door, you have to be ready to work hard, to do the work, and just stick it out. Because eventually you will continue to move up just like you did. So
Absolutely.
that's fantastic. You know, it's a testament to your hard work and dedication.
Thank you. And as you know, and you've seen young reporters, it is so hard to be out there because you're running around, you're getting interviews. I used to tell my husband, it's like writing a research paper every day.
Every day, of course.
And then put it on the air, making it concise and correct, very important. But then you get to learn a little bit about a lot of different things, which I think is just great. You know, about bankruptcy court, criminal court. Unfortunately, there's, you know, death and or murders and other things to cover. And destruction. But yeah, you just learn so much on the job.
I think there are things that don't change. Like, you know, we have deadlines, we have hourly deadlines, but the stories change every single day, and that's what makes our job so interesting and makes you really a well-rounded person, because you do learn about budgets, about weather, about accidents, about the heartbreak. You know, like we know with this Texas flooding, all those people, more than 100 people died, and so we also have to report on the heartbreak. But it's a challenge every single day, right? Showing up and being your absolute best every day, and that's a challenge.
I actually covered a serial murderer in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it was heart-wrenching because I was speaking with the families on a daily basis. There were new developments coming up every week, and it was heartbreaking because they went from, you know, finding the remains to identifying them to the family finally knowing if their loved one was one of the victims. And that was heartbreaking because I was at the door of a family who had just found out. And, you know, how do you ask them, will you speak to me?
Right, that's tough.
It is tough, but I found that I could always connect with families in those situations because I felt for them. I wasn't there just for an interview. I felt for them. I felt their pain. And then one of the other things that I think is very interesting, I speak Spanish. No,
eso es muy importante.
Hablo muy español, no como quisiera, ¿verdad? Me hago entender.
Eso es lo importante.
That's the important thing. People understand what I'm saying, but that allowed me in El Paso, in Albuquerque, in Las Vegas, where I anchored and reported. It allowed me to tell people's stories in an authentic manner.
Absolutely, absolutely, because you could sympathize and you could empathize. So, you know what, I remember when I started long time ago, we were supposed to stay neutral, and we still do, but you're supposed to not show any emotion. And I totally disagree with that. I had somebody come up to me today and said, I watched you yesterday and you were talking about the Texas floods, and I felt your pain. I think journalists, reporters, anchors have evolved and are not afraid of showing our emotions, because that's how we connect with you all, because we sympathize, we understand, we connect. And so that's another dimension, another dynamic in the role of a news anchor and as a reporter that has changed over the years.
And that is so true. I anchored this weekend when they had the number of persons that were found no longer with life, and it was at 100, and 12 of those were children. And it was heartbreaking. So I remember reading that, and it showed on my face that was something that hurt me.
Okay. And that's okay.
And it is okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That has changed. But we are also on air to tell people about the happy stories, about the things that are going on in your community that you may not know about. There are so many talented people, so many stories to tell, and it's a wonderful experience. Now, we are talking about me being back in the news after 11 years, and it's been great. The last 2 weeks here at KTSM have been just so awesome, because from my news director to the reporters to editors to our master control, I mean, everybody has been so kind to me, and I appreciate it. But I do want to share, this isn't all about me, I want to share an Estela Casas story.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's see. Is it good?
It's a great
story. I mean,
story.
we have bad stories.
It's a great story. So I was a young reporter, and I saw Estela at a function. And I was so nervous, but I said, I'm going to go over there and introduce myself. So I went over there, and I tapped her shoulder, and she turns around, and I was like, it's Estela. And I said, hi, I'm Christina Rada. And she says, hi, I'm Estela. And then she said, I've been watching your reporting. You do a very good job.
Oh, good. That's great.
And I was like, wow, Estela Casas just told me that I do a good job. That's amazing. I'm not sure, I don't even remember what I said after that. It must have been thank you. But I walked away that day knowing that what I was doing, that I was doing it right.
Well, good. You know what? I think many times we fail to tell people the good things. It's like, hey, your hair looks great. Hey, you're doing a great job. Hey, I love your shoes. That was great, because that may be the only compliment they get that day.
I agree.
I think many times we feel intimidated, or we feel, they don't need to hear that. They already know. But it's very important to show that empathy and to give compliments.
Absolutely. I still remember yours.
That's so long ago. So tell us what have you been doing the last 11 years that you were away from TV?
So I was fortunate enough that in between Albuquerque and Las Vegas, I had a position that was governor appointed. It was a public affairs director for the corrections department, so the prison system. I did that for about a year, so I got some public relations experience in that sense. It was so much fun. It was a job that I enjoyed. Then I went on to Las Vegas. Las Vegas came calling, offering me a weekend position.
Las Vegas, New Mexico, or
Las Vegas,
Nevada?
Yeah.
Oh, how fun was that?
I was so excited.
Work, right?
I couldn't turn it down.
Yeah, of course not.
So I went down there, weekend anchor, reporter. It was so much fun. Such a great learning experience. Then we had family reasons to come back home to El Paso. And 2 months after I came home, I got a call from the KTSM news director saying, hey, do you want to do the morning show? Okay. I was like, yes, absolutely, I'll do the morning show. So I did that for a year. And it wasn't the typical morning show. At KTSM, we were trying something new where it was fun and you got your news of the day. You were informed.
Because that's important. Okay.
But it was fun, it was entertaining. So it was a different experience for me. And I really, really loved it. So after that, I was a stay-at-home mom for a little while.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Okay. Ages?
21, 22, and 27.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm adult kids.
Well, you're almost an empty nester.
I'm telling them to stay home as long as possible. They're in school. I'm like, you guys can stay till you're in your 30s. It's okay. I don't mind. I'm that kind of mom. Okay. I'm going to miss them. But I did that, and then I did marketing for a nonprofit here in El Paso. I did marketing for a law firm, Shirley Gate. That was all very interesting for me because I had not done marketing before. So that was 4 years of me learning something absolutely new, putting it into practice, and just kind of seeing, how it went. And the whole time I was not thinking about news. I watch the news, I read the news, I'm a news junkie, you can't help it. As soon as I wake up in the morning, my radio's on, NPR or whatever the case.
So really, those last 11 years have really built up your resume and your knowledge as a human being, as a mom, as a wife, as a marketer, as an anchor, as everything. And people sometimes don't realize how important that is, because you bring so much more to the table, right? To the anchor desk, because you've been there, done that. And it shows. And it shows.
Especially being a mom, it changes everything.
It does.
It changes your perspective. That's a major change. But in any situation that you might have, whether you're a mom or a dad that is substituting for somebody else, if you have a foster child or you're just that parent figure in a child's life, it just changes you. It really does.
It changes your perspective in life.
It does.
So you've been here, gosh, just a few days. I've seen you around just a few days. When she walked in, I said, hey, welcome. We're glad to have you. I know it's probably too soon to think about what you'd like to do and what you'd like to see here and how you would like to engage more with our audience, our TV audience and our social media audience, because we want to hear from you all. What do you want to see from us as reporters, as anchors, as people? So what do you envision yourself doing? What would you like to do?
Well, first let me say we're going to have this on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. So if you have any questions, feel free to add those questions on there. But most importantly, I think we are so blessed that we're able to tell other people's stories. It's all about storytelling, and at heart, that's a part that we love. And I think when you tell people stories, you're really affecting the community, you're really giving them knowledge that they need, and that's when you feel like you're helping.
Absolutely. So we want to hear from you all, because we have to hear the stories from you all. So we want you to submit your questions and engage with us, so we know more about what's happening in our community. So we know a lot about what's happening in our community, but sometimes we need your stories. We need you to share your stories. So we would appreciate that very much. So we're out of time, but thank you all for tuning in. And remember, we're going to go back and look at some of the questions or some of the comments that you all might have.
May I insert one more thing?
Yes, of course.
I'm on noon, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with my co-anchor, Ian. And then on the weekends, it's going to be 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock, so Saturday and Sunday. And I really hope that they'll join me.
Of course, because they can connect with us, right? And I'm on it at 5 and 6, and hopefully you all can continue connecting with us. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. We'll have some more interviews so you can get to know who's behind the anchor desk. Have a great day.